Breakfast at UMH. And I'm your moderator for the second session, Dr. Fab. And in this session, we have the opportunity to introduce the latest unit in the faculty, the Business Development Unit. With us today is none other than the neurosurgeon extraordinaire, Professor Vignesh Warren, my mentor who has built numerous stuff like the division of neurosurgery from a single surgeon to a pack of 8 neurosurgeons. He also played a fundamental role in the establishment of Center of Image-Guided and Minimal Invasive Therapy, one of the 4 such centers in the world. He was also the previous MD and interim CEO of UMSC. So now, we welcome Prof. Vicky to explain his latest venture in the faculty to the audience. Prof. Vicky.
Thank you, Faisal. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming up so early in the morning to listen to this. And this is going to be further away from science as you can ever get. As I told Faisal before this, feel free to throw in the questions and I'll try answering as it goes. There are no slides. It's just a conversation. Actually, it is not my venture. It is a venture from the management of the Faculty of Medicine led by Prof. April, who felt that I think in times that are difficult, where money is short, every penny counts. And not only must we look at trying to earn money, but we also need to make sure that it is being spent wisely and there is opportunity for all. As a consequence of which, I was invited to head up this unit. And this unit was formed about 4 months ago. Now, the unit is actually very small at the moment, and we hope that it will remain relatively small. It consists of yours truly. And in addition to that, we have got the engineer, Encik Firdaus, and also the Chief Financial Officer for the Faculty of Medicine, Encik Hanif. There's Puan Zura and Zara who are helping us with the secretariat work, clerical work, and making sure that everything is done properly. And advising us is Prof. Wan, Deputy Dean, and also Puan Rosita to make sure that I don't break any university regulations as we move along. So this unit is actually quite small. We report directly to Prof. April, and also we present our output to the management of the Faculty of Medicine fortnightly, and sometimes on special meetings. So that's how we have been functioning thus far. Why do we need this? Yeah. So there are lots of clinicians who have ideas. Okay. And in the past, I've had some ideas too, and quite often you find that we are out of our depth. I mean, after all, we are trained as clinicians, we are trained as academics, and business doesn't come as second nature. So sometimes we need help, we need assistance, and what we really don't want is a whole stack of forms being thrown at us to fill it up. Okay, and we have no clue on how to fill up these forms or where do we even start. A lot of things, just like a patient coming to you and we speak to them in jargon, the same thing may happen if you go and speak to a financial person and say, I want to start this service and I think we can earn some money out of this at the same time and keep it viable and sustainable. And usually you'll be chucked with a 5 or 10 page form that you need to fill up. And in there, there'll be jargon that you have no clue about. And most of us will generally say, okay, we'll throw our hands up in the air. But the moment the form comes, then there will be about maybe 30% who will persevere through the form. And then you will submit it, and then you will be made to go back repeatedly to do things. And then you'll be thrown things at you again to correct certain things. And then at which point you will throw your arms up in the air as well. And perhaps then finally you'll filter down to 1 to 5% who will actually go through with the whole endeavor. So that's one of the things that we are trying to overcome. So what's our role thus far? So if anyone wants to start a project that requires funding from the faculty, or you need space from the faculty, or you need to use staff from the faculty, we would be interested to hear about, or well, you have to send your proposal to us. We have reduced that 5-page or 6-page form from the university to a simple 2-pager. Okay, just to explain your idea to start with, just your idea. We want to hear what is your idea, what do you want to do, How do you plan to income generate, etc. We will then try and review this idea within a week, and most likely we will call you in for an interview, okay? Because the paper never conveys the same kind of message as speaking to the person and trying to understand what it is that they want to do. And then we will give you our 5 cents worth there and then, okay? And then if you think that it is viable and we can proceed, we will write a paper on your behalf, or we will prepare a recommendation to the Faculty of Medicine's management team to decide to proceed or otherwise. At this point also, you'll be then thrown the 10-page form from the university to fill up. And we will try and help you where we can, okay? The idea is to make sure at least we make an attempt to be viable. And I use the phrase cost neutral, okay? Cost zero. So what do I mean by that? Basically, what we don't want is to lose money, okay? If you make money, if you're just even at the moment for the first couple of years, I think I'll be quite happy.
So instead of talking jargons, why don't you give an example, Prof? Can you say about project? Is it project as a research project, or project as in, give an example.
So for example, we have up-to-date reviewed 3 projects. There's 2 more are sitting on our in-tray. One was I won't mention the clinician or where they come from. So one was a researcher who has been running a service for the last couple of years. And this researcher felt that there could be financial things with it. And she took the initiative and she showed it over a 6 months, 1 year period that it is indeed financially viable. So she put forward this project to us, okay? So we then evaluated what are the things that she needs, the space, the people, the machine, how it is, and then we advised her how she could structure this, in which way that she will benefit. It's very important that she benefits, her department will benefit, the faculty will benefit, and the university will benefit, okay? And we will put in mechanisms in which we will monitor the situation and make sure she's not losing money. So that's the first example. The second example came from another department. They wanted to open up their space to be allowed to vendors to come in and to carry out CME kind of programs, okay? So for those of us in clinical side, it is basically like a stall or a symposium that you may have for a lunch talk, okay? And bring these people on a regular basis. So in this particular instance, we thought that they could up the price and make their own self-worth better, number one. Number two, we suggested to them that they should improve their game. So if they improve their game, and then more companies may want to come in once a fortnight or once a month, which is what they want to do, and will take up this particular allocation, okay? And they will then attract people from other universities and other researchers from other places to come in. So it makes it worthwhile for that particular company coming in to actually spend that money to do it, right? Instead of going and seeing individuals in different departments and universities. So that's the second one we looked at, yeah?
All right. Prof,
yeah, that's the kind of things, yeah.
There's a question, is PPUM involved? If so, how?
At this moment, no. PPM's got its own business unit and they have a different way of looking at things, I suppose. There are different objectives in the Faculty of Medicine, because a lot of our ideas,
explain to us.
A lot of our ideas that come in are research based. Okay, so for example, someone may have found an idea to use sleep and sleep deprivation, okay, and provide a service to the industry on how their workers who work the night shift may not make a scaffolding collapse in the morning, for example, okay? And so they want to market this consultancy, and they may have some machine or something that can test their workers and see how sleep deprived they are, okay? So they can come and talk to us, okay? So it's nothing to do with the hospital, as so to speak, okay?
Not yet, you mean?
Not yet. But there will be things, I'm sure, as we move along, there will be some, overlap, and we will aim to bring them in.
So the project that we have to go and submit to the unit is a business project, not a research project, yeah?
No.
So how do you differentiate these two?
A research project is a research project. We are not here to hinder research or, there's a research team all together to do all these things, right? And they're doing it very well. Our job is to facilitate. So, for example, if your research project involves getting a mega grant, okay, to buy a nuclear reactor and park it in the Faculty of Medicine, okay, just to give you an example.
Be realistic. Be realistic.
Yeah, it's 8:40 in the morning. Many of us are still asleep. Okay, so the melatonin not kicked in yet. So as a consequence of which, it's not just a case of getting that reactor or getting that machine, right? It's a case of making sure that machine is now going to be sustainable beyond that research project. Okay, I have seen many research projects that buy machines, okay, and then the moment the research grant finishes, the team disperses, the machines are left to die in some corner. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. Or we have machines that then require to be maintained and continuously run. Okay, but the grant doesn't cover it beyond, say, 2 years or 3 years. Okay, so if you're going to do these things, we have to make sure that there is there's a plan, right? And so what happens is the faculty doesn't then end up maybe having to hold the can to look after maintenance and all that. Okay, there are a number of examples. We don't need to go into that. So that's the idea. Okay, so if there is big money involved in it, big machines involved in it, then we need to know about it. Okay, and we would ask questions like, what do you see long term in this machine?
Okay, one question from Prof. Sanjeev. Can the business unit help clinical units generate income via services? Example, specialized liver scans.
Okay, so you know, when we were looking at Health in a very serious way, okay, there was a plan that point that there should be a centralized business unit that will address the requirement for all 3 entities. Okay, and I'm not sure what's happening to all those kind of things at the moment. Okay, so one entity would have looked after because at the end of the day, this is clinical service. This will benefit the private sector, this will benefit the public sector, and it could benefit the Faculty of Medicine generating research. So
this is the one of the things that can be joint venture between PPM and FOM, yeah,
and UMSC even. Right?
Okay, all right, great.
So I mean, not to sound like a broken down tape recorder, but SIGMED was one of those projects that UMSC benefited, UMMC benefited, and also research benefited because there were people who ran research projects in the early hours of Friday mornings. Yeah.
All right, Prof. Let's focus on the question. Next question from Prof. Nimala Bupati. Sorry, Prof. Vicky, will this also involve establishment of a company, or will we be operating under one Faculty of Medicine, Sdn Bhd, or something like that?
Okay, that is really like thinking way ahead, okay, in the outfield. For the moment, it's just to look at how that entity is, okay? Having been involved in a number of things in the past, the problem is we never think through the whole project. Okay, so my idea would be that, for example, if you go back to the first project that I said, right, about these researchers starting to look at analysis of certain byproducts that cause problems, okay, that's what she's doing. Now, if we evaluate this and we find that this is financially making some money, okay, I would think that the next job to whoever runs the business unit, or if I'm still around the business unit, is to move it to the next level and the next level, which would be the next level would be to try and generate even more work for this place and expanding out and eventually spinning this company out. Okay, that's how I think it should go.
Okay.
But you know, for every 10 companies formed, 9 will fail. Right? Yeah.
Right. Question from Prof. Mary Merritt. Where can we get a 2-copy preliminary page? We'll get it.
So it is actually been put up in the faculty webpage already. Prof. April thought that we should do this interview so that more people will listen to it live.
All right.
Okay,
we'll do that.
Not that they will take pot shots at me as well at the same time. But so we actually put all these things up in the webpage, and you're free to download it and have a look at it and forward it to us.
All right. Question from the head of department orthopedic, Dr. Noor Faisal Yassin. Will this also involve the regular courses or workshop organized by the unit of department? Okay. What is the percentage cut?
Okay,
this is very important here.
Okay, so the percentage cut, we are still working it out with the university. Okay, we are in the process of trying to get an audience with the Vice Chancellor. You see, the university, this is just purely my opinion, okay? So the university views us like all the other faculties, okay? So for example, if you take another faculty like engineering, they have the Department of Civil Engineering, and the departments are very big. They are standalone by themselves, okay? And they have their own courses and everything. But the faculty of medicine is actually quite different from all the other faculties, because the faculty of medicine consists of multiple departments, all serving one main primary program, which is the undergraduate program. Of course, these days we have our master's program. But even the master's programs are not totally independent, because a surgical program will have the input from anatomists and physiologists and all these other people, right? So we are actually a network of departments. And the university was wanting to give large amounts of money back to the department, which would not make sense, because you are part of the faculty, you're part of the hospital, whatever little business that you may be doing, you are going to be eating into your time that you're paid by taxpayer, right? So we have to make sure, and you're using department staff to run things in electricity and water. So we have to make sure that everybody is compensated fairly. Okay. And that's something that we will bring up with the BC.
All right. Let's focus on more difficult question, Prof. These are the two difficult questions here. Managing expectation from the industry player is very important, from Dr. Angus Salim or Professor, sorry. In order to collaborate with oil and gas industry, you need to register as their vendor. Is there a criteria, example, to be ISO certified organization? I'm not sure whether this is thinking too far ahead, or what do you think?
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Dr. Agus is actually from the industry. She's from Petronas.
All right. So maybe, what do you think? Victor, do you want to add in the whole idea of this question?
Basically, he wants to know whether we can offer service to Petronas or not.
Oh.
So let's say I have occupational safety and health consultation here. I'm going to offer service to Petronas. So, but before I can offer service to Petronas or any other organization, we need to be their vendor. The same thing is happening in Even the lecturer who want to basically do thesis here, mark thesis, also got to be a vendor here.
All right. Maybe Prof. Vicky can answer that.
Okay, I didn't quite think of it in oil and gas, but I think I can wrap my head around that. So for example, oil and gas wants to set up a consultancy services with us. Contohnya, for example, right?
No, it's the other way around. It's basically they want us to do consultation for them.
Yeah. Sorry, I phrased it wrongly. Okay. So an example, it may not even be oil and gas. It may be any other industry. It may be some other university that wants us to provide consultancy for them. Okay. So we have to look at it. We have to break this down into multi levels. Okay. The first level is we need to get our act correct. Okay. So if it's just you requiring me as an individual to come and talk to you, it's quite easy, right? You can deal with the university and get a consultancy fee. That's worked out already. Okay. But on the other hand, let's say my consultancy to you involves me using members of my department, involves me using certain facilities in my department or provided for by the university. Now the equation becomes a little bit more complex. So there should be a business plan, and amongst us first, forget about our industry partner, but amongst us, we need to have some rules and regulations written, okay? How much money comes back to the university? How much money comes back to the faculty? And everybody says it's my effort all the time. But I always turn around and tell people, if it wasn't for University Malaya, all of us will be nowhere. And similarly, if it wasn't for the Faculty of Medicine, we definitely will be nowhere. Okay? So there is a lot of value. And, if you look at the many icons of University Malaya, this is also University Malaya. So we are riding on the name, and a lot of us, when I was reviewing some of these projects, do not value this name. Okay, so the first thing is we need to get that sorted out. Okay, and also the business unit, I think part of the job, just like we have ethics for patients and we have standard of care, we must make sure that this company is functioning in a proper professional fashion and not like the a little cottage industry kind of thing. Today I want to work, I provide service. Tomorrow I don't want to work, I don't want to provide service.
All right.
Yeah. So that's the first part. And the second part is, of course, if then after that the entity is good enough, of course they will have to apply and register with Petronas. It's the same with everybody.
All right. So these are the question by Professor Dharmendra. Doesn't Chancellery already has a business advisory unit to help with commercialization?
There are so many business advisory units out there. Okay, But Professor April and the team felt that we need to have one, and I very much agree with that.
So this is like an in-house, and then we present.
Yeah. So it's like an in-house thing because
Right.
there are problems peculiar to us. Seriously peculiar to us. Okay.
Okay.
We have also issues we have also had issues of them sometimes not understanding what we are doing. Okay, a biased view. Yeah.
All right. So this in relation to another question that by KK, I don't have the full name here. Prof, we are told that consultancy services for industry have to go through UPUM.
Yeah. So there are some rules. That's why Puan Rosita is there to advise me. Okay. So if you're providing a single man consultancy service, so for those of us who provide our services to UMSC, for example, 5% of your scalp is taken off, and that comes to your department, of which 1% comes to the faculty. Okay, for example, right? So that's a consultancy. But let's say if you're providing consultancy outside, okay, you're not allowed to provide consultancy and do private work in another hospital. But let's say you provide your expertise as a sleep expert. Sorry, I keep going back to the sleep expert because he was there for the first half an hour. Okay, so
if interesting topic there.
So if they want a sleep expert to come and talk to them, then he has to go through UPUM. The sleep expert provides that service to Petronas. But on the other hand, if he's providing a lot of things, analysis and things like that in the Faculty of Medicine, then he owes Faculty of Medicine something as well.
So basically, it's either you operate alone. If you're operating alone on your own, then you can go to UPUM. But if you are using faculty resources as well as people around your unit, then probably you need to go through.
No, not probably. You must.
You must. Okay.
Yeah, you must, because you are using resources. Now we are still in our formative phase. Okay. When you are working and giving your consultancy, because this is how when we had the committee to look at how much you give money to UMSC, for example. So when you do all this work, you are doing your work during public time. Okay. So UPUM takes your scalp off partly to make up for that. Okay. But maybe we need to study that a little bit more. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. So in the past, has the medical faculty spurned out a lot of commercially viable business ventures? This is again another question by Prof. Dharmendra.
I'm not here to dwell in the past. Okay. But I do know that certain ventures were spurned. I do know, and fairly often for very good reasons. Okay, because what I may see as a great idea because it benefits me greatly, okay, may not benefit the general rest of the environment. Okay, so that's one of the things. However, he's also very right that sometimes even though it's beneficial, we don't treat it seriously.
All right.
Okay? So let's try and do that.
Let's because on the time here we have 1 minute. If you want to stick to 9 o'clock, could you paint us the bigger picture of business unit development? What the future that you envision that we could achieve together with BDU?
Oh, okay. So there's a whole load of things that we are doing. So looking at projects is just one aspect of it. Okay, we are also looking at fixed budgeting. Okay, there's a big complaint always how toilets don't work, our lights don't work. So one of the things that we are looking at is to create a budget that is just to look after this thing year in, year out, which means that there will be no money for ad hoc renovations of departments and stuff like that. Okay, because the basic must work. The roads must be tarred so the cars can go smoothly. So the lights must work, the toilets must flush, the water must run. Okay, so that's my first priority. Things like getting the department done, we will be in consultation with them, and then we will see how we can work together, faculty and department, to try and get departments renovated, especially some of the older, more neglected departments in the preclinical areas. We are, of course, looking at developing. One of the big things that we want to do is to get our alumni involved. This is a huge number of people who come from us, okay? Thousands of them, undergraduate, postgraduate, and this is a completely untapped resource for funding purposes. And we would like to reach out to them. And some of the things that we have done is you yourself have done now, you together with the alumni team led by Aizura, is to advertise this out to all our alumni and give them CME. Of course, my talk is not CME worthy, but all the scientific talks that will be conducted are CME worthy. And I think Prof. Faisal just let me know this morning that there will be another talk that he and his team will be starting that will be looking at the research output. So they will be interviewing people who have had their publications also accepted. And this too will be made available to alumni. We will be inviting alumni members for interviews, for talks, to get them back involved. Okay, and then hopefully we will get them to contribute towards the alumni. It's not a very Malaysian thing, right? But this is how, if you look at the US and now more recently in the UK, how people are going. So we are looking at that as well. What else are we doing? Yeah, and of course, reviewing your projects. Yeah,
I can see that you are a very passionate alumni, bro. All right. I think we can go for one last question. I think one last question, which is very relevant from Prof. Siva Kumar from Cardiothoracic. Prof, providing clinical service to KKM in certain specific area, example, being invited to do a complex cases, which has been registered under UPUM. Is that a financial prospect in this faculty? So basically as a group practice rather than a single individual doing a consultancy.
Okay, this soalan is very susah, okay?
Oh, very susah, Prof. Siva.
Because this is breaching, I mean, you need permission from university, you need permission from you will definitely need permission from UMSC because the services are being provided by us. Is it really beneficial to us to provide services in KKM? These are questions that we need to really ask. Remember, we all belong to the Faculty of Medicine, all. Faculty of Medicine is why we exist, and Faculty of Medicine is who pays your salary. via Faculty of Medicine, okay? So sometimes when we do some of this charitable work, charity sometimes begins at home, all right? So we have to make sure home benefits as well before we move on, yeah? Okay,
so we will think about it, or we'll keep it for a later discussion, yeah? Okay. So this is a very interesting topic, Prof. We have a lot of questions. Everybody wants to know.
Well, what they can do is, there is an email, I can't remember it off my head, businessunit@FOM, something like that, right? So you can submit more questions and I'll try and answer them, okay?
Right.
Yeah, but I can still take a couple of more questions. We can say go up to 9, 10, I suppose.
Okay. When it involves money and economy, it is very interesting.
It is something I think clinicians have to think about. We did not think about it in the past. And it's not a problem peculiar to Malaysia. It's a problem around the world, in developed countries as well, where you have to think. It's not a case of I ask for money from government give me money. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to prove your worth. There are 30 over other medical schools, people fighting for the money. So we have to up our game.
Okay. So just in case, let's say, for example, I put up, this is by anonymous attendees. Let's say, for example, I put up a proposal, that's it, and BDU doesn't like my project, so it can't be proceed anymore.
Okay, so when we say to you, you can't proceed, we never say to you, you can't proceed.
Okay.
We will tell you why there are problems and issues, okay? And then it's up to you to correct and come back, okay? So far, the three projects that we have reviewed, we have cleared all three. They were required to make minor editorial changes.
So so BDU will help them with clerical services, help them to fill up the forms, think about the business plan. No,
it is good that you asked me that question in the beginning, i.e., so we are a very small unit, as you can see. All of us have got our daytime job, okay?
Okay.
But this is a unit that advises the management whether this project makes sense or not. Okay, because management is very busy with other things like looking after undergraduate, postgraduate, exams, God knows what else, KPIs and all that. So we will do like a filter, our reasoning, our 5 cents worth on whether this is feasible, not feasible, why it should proceed, why not, how it can, how it cannot. Yeah. So those are the things that we will do. So far, I have, as I said, I've reviewed 3 projects directly. I've spoken to a couple of people privately who have come up to see me, even one yesterday, and it's very entertaining, very interesting. So I can make suggestions of my own based on my experience, or they can share with me the experience. And if I don't know about it, or my team is unable to help you with it, then we will get the necessary people to try and assist.
Okay, Prof. I think we have created quite a interesting conversation today, and we have a lot of feedback from others. I think we should end the discussion today. Thank you, Prof. Vicky, for sharing your precious time with us. Thank you for all out there who are watching this live or maybe in the future playback. Please leave your valuable feedback and comment to make this breakfast at UMH better for you, and let us learn together. And the last note, you can find out about this business development unit on the faculty website. Go at medicine.edu.my, and there's a menu on top there, business development unit. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you very much for your active participation.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.